For all grades, we want to begin with taking some notes, and you can doodle or kind of do whatever you want with your pencil and paper, but I would like for you to kind of be moving with that while considering a few definitions. Write or draw whatever comes to mind, and this will be your first step in considering how you relate to the environment and the information that's available to you. So really feel like your notebook is your place to be free with your thoughts, but also at least write down the word, if not the definition.
We are going to explore poetry as a form of art and how we can apply it to the drawings that we're going to create. That poetry is a type of literature or artistic writing that attempts to stir a reader's imagination or emotion. And a poem is a collection of spoken or written words that express ideas or emotions in a vivid and imaginative style. So there are so many different forms of poetry. And I encourage you after this course, or even during this course, to search those out on your own. But for this course, we're going to talk about a few of my favorites. I think that they are so much fun to create with. The first type of poem that we're going to talk about is called an Ecrastic Poem. And an Ecrastic poem is a poem based on a work of art. And they are usually written about paintings, but can also be based on sculpture, an object, or even architecture. It is a vivid description of a scene or work of art. Through the imaginative act of narrating and reflecting on the action of a painting or sculpture, the poet may amplify and expand its meaning. So there are no requirements regarding rhyme, meter, or form in Ecrastic. So you can really be free with this type of poem. And it's probably my favorite. My second favorite for sure is the haiku poem. And a haiku poem is a short form of poetry that originates from Japan. And it consists of 3 lines. So the first line, 3 short lines. The first line is going to have 5 syllables. The second line, 7 syllables. And the third line, 5 syllables. Traditionally, haiku poems are about nature or a natural phenomenon. But today, a haiku can be about any and everything. And I actually wrote an example down of a haiku, and I'll show it to you so you can see what it looks like at the bottom, and I'll read it. And the title of my haiku poem is called Crystals. Red, yellow, blue, green, orange, crystals of every color. I want them all now.
So today we're just going to have about 5 or 10 minutes in our drawing course. For our younger students, our 5th graders, I want you to go into your notebook. We'll all be working in our notebooks today. And just get a sheet of paper, and you can use a pen or a pencil and draw either a one-dimensional square, and you can use the grid on your notebook. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I want you to either draw a square or a circle, but whatever you choose to draw, I want you to draw it 3 times, and each time draw it by hand. And when you are done drawing that 3 times, I want you to then trace that just so you can have a really clean sheet of paper with your fresh circle or square on it. For the 7th grade and intermediate class, what we're gonna do is start by just drawing your best circle or square as many times as you can. And it can be, you can start small, and I want you to take the time to draw one really large. I'll do a couple here with you and show you, you know, as our time gets closer to done, how they look, so we can all kind of compare. For our 5th grade drawing lesson, in lesson 1, we're going to draw a one-dimensional circle or square in your notebook. And I would like for you guys to use your pencil, but feel free to get creative with it. But I'm going to use markers here just for visibility. So here is my one-dimensional square in my quad ruled notebook. I got the dotted variety, but you might have the squared variety. Either way, you know, you can use your lines. It doesn't have to be perfect on the first try. I want you guys to draw it 3 times. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a circle too, for those of you who choose to do a circle. A circle's always a little bit more ambiguous. So you just kind of, but you can even still use your quads, your dots to kind of make your circle as beautiful as possible. So take 5 or 10 minutes, draw either a square or a circle 3 times in your notebook. Don't be afraid to use up pages. That's what this designing space and place is for. 7th grade and intermediate, what we're gonna do is draw our shape several times for 5 or 10 minutes. I like to kind of start small, loosen up my hand, kind of get myself going, kind of get myself feeling it. It's a little harder to draw up vertically like this, I will admit. And then to kind of move on to drawing it bigger. But the point of this exercise is to just kind of get it going as many times as possible in that 5 or 10 minutes, and then maybe take like the last 3 to 5 minutes to, you know, really finish that up and really get that solidified large on your page, like the first 2 examples, like the circle and the square. But just to, you know, practice a little deeper that wrist motion and drawing technique that kind of gets you into the space, the physical space of technical drawing.
So based on the drawing activity that you just completed, if you're in 5th grade, I want you to listen to the following prompt as your guide in designing your poem. So think about the emotion or how you are feeling while you were drawing. Choosing only 6 words, write 1 sentence to describe what you just drew. The punctuation mark is included in the 6 words you can use. So I did an example, and mine is, repetition is not extremely satisfying.
Mine is icy cold, ice cube, air conditioned.
Oh, that is awesome.
I'm feeling pretty cold, boss.
So if you're in 7th grade, consider your drawing. Think about if you were to describe it to someone without any access to technology, no phones, no tablets, no computers, no Chromebooks. How would you describe your art? How would you describe your drawing without using the following words? Line, up, down, left, or right. Without using any of those words, write down at least 8 descriptive sentences. Intermediate. Using your drawing as a prompt, think about a current event that is happening in your city, state, nation, or in the world. How does this particular event make you feel? Create a free verse poem. Now remember, free verse is there's no form required. You are really free to create. I want you to do a minimum of 8 lines. So create a free verse poem about the emotion that you feel concerning the place, event, or idea that you were thinking about. From your perspective or how you see things, how does that event, idea, or place make you feel? How do you perceive the feeling of others concerning your chosen topic? Does your perception of others' emotions influence your own perspective? So what that means is what I believe others to be thinking or feeling, is that influencing the way I'm thinking or feeling?
Some examples of words that you could use for our 7th grade drawing poetry exercise are box, cube, perimeter, boundary, area, horizontal, vertical. For our intermediate high school class, I think that a few topics that, of course, you can talk about anything that comes to mind. It could be something personal in your life, in your home, but, you know, just a few kind of broad anywhere examples are climate science, the election. There's always kind of an election out there. A song or an artist, kind of what my notes and my finished product for the day look like, so you can have a gauge of where you should be as you wrap yourself up. So these are my notes from the definitions that we heard that my co-creator, my co-teacher, Miss Patrick, made for us. These are just some of my practice shapes in here. There's quite a few of them. I did this a few times. So here is where I experimented with some words, and these are kind of, some of these are my finished poems that you will see on my final project. But here is icy cold, ice cube, air conditioned. I did that one in the video. Here is a haiku. Here is a Ecrastic, free verse themed poem. And here just me, you know, kind of brainstorming. So at the end of the lesson 1, you should have visual, poetic brainstorming going on.